Be honest with me right now. When was the last time you actually loved your hair? Not tolerated it, not settled for it. Actually looked in the mirror and thought, yes, that is exactly who I am. Or have you been doing what most women over 50 do without even realizing it? You walk into the salon, you sit in that chair, and you say the 6 most dangerous words in the English language. Just give me something easy to manage. And your stylist nods, picks up the scissors, and 30 minutes later you walk out with the same rounded, helmet-shaped, doesn't move in the wind haircut that every other woman in the waiting room already has. You know the one. It sits on your head like a cap. It doesn't swing. It doesn't catch the light. It doesn't make anyone look twice. And worst of all, it is doing more to age you than sun, gravity, and time combined. Here is what nobody tells you. A haircut that fights your face doesn't just sit there quietly. It pulls your whole face downward. It flattens your cheekbones. It softens your jawline in the wrong way. It makes your eyes look smaller and more tired, and it sends a message to the world that you have stopped caring, even when that could not be further from the truth. Sister, that stops today. I am walking you through 5 haircuts that are transforming how women over 50 look and feel. Cuts that lift the jawline, brighten the eyes, and make people genuinely wonder what you've been doing differently. These are not trends. They are architecturally designed, thoughtfully built styles that work with the way your face and your hair have changed, not against them. Stay with me all the way through because after the 5 cuts, I am giving you the salon script. 3 exact phrases you say to your stylist so you never walk out with that same tired shape again. Let's rescue your hair. If this is your first time here, welcome to Ever Chic at 50. This is the space where we prove every single week that style, beauty, and confidence have no expiration date. If that sounds like the kind of community you want to be part of, take a moment right now to subscribe to Ever Chic at 50 so you never miss what's coming next. Cut 1. The Architectural Bob. If I could sit down with every woman over 50 and hand her one gift, it would be this haircut. The architectural bob is the little black dress of hair. Sharp, expensive looking, and it functions almost like a non-surgical scaffold for your face. Here's why it works. A traditional bob is often rounded and soft, hitting right at the widest part of the jaw. That fullness at the bottom creates a bell shape, and a bell shape pulls the eye downward. The architectural bob does the opposite. It falls just at or barely below the jawline with a crisp, blunt perimeter that acts like a firm horizontal shelf. That line acts like a visual shelf. It tricks the eye into seeing a tighter, more defined jaw, even where yours has softened with time. Here is the detail that separates this from every other bob recommendation you've heard. The real work happens on the inside. Your stylist should be removing weight internally, thinning from within, while keeping the outside edge thick and sharp. No visible chunky layers, no mushroom shape, no bowl, blunt perimeter, internal texture. That's the exact phrase to bring with you. Write it down. This matters enormously after 50 because as hair loses density, a one-length blunt bob can sit flat and heavy against the face. Internal texture gives you movement, lift, and that floating quality that makes people say, "What is she doing differently? Because she looks incredible." Styling could not be simpler. A flat iron, 60 seconds, a slight turn under at the ends. The blunt edges catch light beautifully, making your hair look shinier and healthier almost instantly. And try tucking one side behind your ear. It opens the face, highlights a cheekbone, and shows off an earring. Effortless, elegant, done. Cut 2. The Soft Textured Shag. If the architectural bob is the executive of haircuts, the soft shag is the artist. Messy, effortless, and quite possibly the most effective distraction technique in the entire world of hair. Let me explain what I mean. After 50, many women become hyper-aware of fine lines around the eyes, softness along the jaw, a little less volume in the cheeks. A traditional cut tries to look perfect, symmetrical, smooth, polished. But perfection is actually the enemy here, because perfect symmetry in the hair only highlights every small asymmetry in the face. The eye goes straight to whatever doesn't match. The soft shag solves this beautifully through disruption. Instead of one clean line, you get choppy, vertical, diagonal layers that keep the eye moving. The viewer is so busy following the texture and movement of your hair that she never settles on a fine line or a shadow beneath the chin. It is misdirection, and it is genius. The key detail. Ask for a curtain fringe, sometimes called a bottleneck fringe. This is a fringe that starts shorter at the center of the forehead and sweeps longer toward the cheekbones, like the neck of a bottle. It becomes soft brackets around your face, lifting everything upward and drawing attention directly to your eyes. It is a veil, sister, not a wall. And here is something most women never hear. If your stylist is cutting your shag with straight, scissor-over-comb cuts, they are doing it wrong. They should be cutting into the hair at an angle, point cutting or slicing, to create shattered ends that stack on top of one another. This creates the illusion of double the volume without adding a single ounce of bulk. That is the difference between looking like you just stepped off a street in Paris and looking like you got caught in the rain. Styling is beautifully low maintenance. Air dry with a touch of texturizing mousse. Scrunch the layers to activate them. A little dry shampoo on clean hair keeps everything separated and airy. If you cannot run your fingers through it freely, you have used too much product. This cut wants to move. Cut 3. The modern pixie bob. We need to have an honest conversation about short hair. Somewhere along the way, women over 50 were quietly told that going short means giving up femininity. So you chop it all off, spike it with gel, and hope for the best. Sister, that is not a haircut. That is a surrender. The modern pixie bob, sometimes called the Pixie, is the complete opposite. Short where you need the lift, long where you want the softness. Think of it as the love child of a pixie and a bob. The back stays clean and tapered against the nape, showing off your neck and jawline, one of the most elegant parts of a woman's silhouette. The front stays longer, with a sweeping fringe that crosses the forehead and lands on the cheekbone. That diagonal line is everything. Diagonal lines suggest movement, energy, direction. A tired, rounded cut is a circle. The pixie bob is an arrow, pointing exactly where you want people to look. And here's a detail that will change how you think about this entirely. Gray and silver hair is naturally coarser, with more texture and grit than pigmented hair. Younger women spend a fortune on sea salt sprays chasing that lived-in feel. Your natural silver already has it built in. The pixie bob celebrates that texture instead of fighting it. Tell me honestly, which of these first 3 is already calling your name? Cut 4. The soft fringe refresh. This one is not about changing your entire haircut. It's about adding one single element to whatever style you already have and watching it take years off your face by the time you walk out the door. In the hair industry, a well-cut soft fringe is quietly known as salon Botox. Once you understand why, you'll never want to go without one again. As we move through our 50s and beyond, many women become self-conscious about forehead lines, the small furrow between the brows, thinning along the front hairline. Heavier foundation only settles into those creases and makes them more visible. The soft fringe takes a completely different approach. It offers a physical veil, a whisper of hair that softens the entire upper third of the face. It does not hide you, it frames you. Here is the technique that matters. You want a bottleneck fringe, shorter at the center, just skimming the brow, curving gradually, longer toward the temples until it blends into your side layers. The effect is stunning. It creates a soft horizontal line at the brow that frames your eyes like a spotlight. Suddenly, people aren't looking at your forehead, they're looking into your eyes, and that changes everything about how your whole face reads. Now, the mistake most stylists make with a fringe on a mature client is cutting it too wide and too thick, pulling hair from halfway back on the head. Here's your rule. Place 2 fingers at your front hairline. Your fringe should never start further back than those 2 fingers. Anything more creates a shelf effect, flat on top, heavy in front. Whisper bangs, not wall bangs. Say that with full confidence. And for every woman thinking, I don't want to style bangs every single morning, here is the shortcut. You only have to style the fringe. The rest of your hair can go into a ponytail, a clip, a low bun. A styled, soft fringe makes it look like you spent an hour on your hair when you spent 3 minutes. That is the kind of shortcut worth taking. Cut 5, the asymmetrical graduated bob. I saved this one for last because it is for a very specific woman. If you were the one who still reaches for a leather jacket, who loves a bold lip, who has absolutely no intention of fading into the background, this is your signature. The asymmetrical graduated bob is the ultimate style statement for a woman who wants to look current, not simply presentable. Here's the thinking behind it. As we age, our faces naturally become a little less symmetrical. A perfectly even, blunt haircut actually highlights those small imbalances. Asymmetry in the cut is the elegant solution. One side falls slightly longer than the other, creating a diagonal line that keeps the eye moving across the face. It is a technique borrowed from architecture and high fashion, and it reads as effortlessly current. The graduated element means the back is stacked slightly shorter, clearing the nape of the neck to create one long, elegant line. The longer pieces in front hug the jaw like contour lines, providing definition exactly where many women feel they have lost it. And this cut looks extraordinary on silver, salt, and pepper hair because the varied lengths show off every natural highlight and lowlight already living in your hair. This cut simply lets it perform. The power move? Tuck the shorter side behind your ear, one cheekbone revealed, one earring on display, the longer side falling like a soft curtain on the other. Asymmetry creates intrigue, and intrigue, sister, is irresistible. If this list already has you rethinking your next salon appointment, tell me which cut made you say, that is the one. The salon script. Before I let you go, I promised you the salon script. 3 phrases that protect you from ever walking out with that same tired shape again. First, I want upward energy, not roundness. That single sentence tells your stylist you understand shape and you will not accept the helmet. Second, please point cut or slice cut, no blunt, straight across chops. This ensures texture, movement, and modern edges instead of stiff, dated lines. Third, show me the back before you finish. Most women never see the back of their own hair until they get home, and by then it is too late. Ask to see it while you're in the chair. If it looks heavy or shapeless, speak up. You're paying for this. You deserve to love every single angle. Write those down, screenshot this, bring them with you. They will change everything. And here's what I really want to leave you with today. This was never just about haircuts. It was about that quiet moment in the salon chair when you said, just give me something easy. Because somewhere underneath, you had started to believe that easy was all you deserved. That the exciting cuts, the statement styles, the haircuts that make a woman feel electric, those were for someone younger. They're not. They're for you, right now, exactly as you are. Your hair is the one thing on your entire body you can completely transform in under an hour. It requires no surgery, no suffering. It simply requires the courage to stop settling for invisible and start insisting on extraordinary. You are not aging out of style. You're aging into it. And the right cut doesn't turn the clock back. It announces to the room that you're not done yet, not even close. If this helped you see your reflection a little differently today, take a moment to like this video. It genuinely helps more women like you find their way here. And if you know a woman who has been hiding behind the same tired cut for years, a friend, a sister, send her this one. It might just change her next salon visit and the way she sees herself walking out of it. If you haven't yet, subscribe to Ever Chic at 50. There's a new piece of wisdom here every week for women who believe that beauty doesn't expire, it evolves. Tell me in the comments, which of the 5 cuts are you booking first? I read every single one, and I can't wait to hear from you. Until next time, stay chic, stay vibrant, and I'll see you soon.